Have you ever felt it? That strange stillness in the room after someone passes. Before grief comes, before memory floods in, just silence. Or that moment when a baby is born and the world seems to hold its breath. Not crying yet, not breathing, just waiting. What happens in that space? Not the moment of death, not the moment of birth, but the moment between. Is there a place where the soul waits? Not in heaven, not in hell, but in a silent corridor of the cosmos, before time begins again. The ancients thought so. From the mystics of Egypt to the poets of India, from the philosophers of Greece to the shamans of forgotten deserts, they all spoke of this strange in-between place, a breath between lives. And in that breath, they said, the soul remembers. This is not a fantasy. This is a forgotten truth. Tonight, we walk with the soul through that space and ask, what does it see when it is no longer anyone? Chapter 1, the last exhale, when the soul leaves. The body ends quietly. One breath, then none. But not all of you leaves at once. The soul, the ancients believed, does not vanish like smoke. It rises. Or more accurately, it is released, like steam leaving hot water, like a bird uncaged. It lifts slowly, silently, into a world no longer seen by human eyes. Many traditions say the soul lingers near the body for some time. In Tibet, they speak of the Bardo, the in-between state. In Egypt, the Ka hovers, uncertain, drawn to familiar places. In Greece, souls wander the threshold before Charon ferries them across the river. What unites them is this: the soul does not go immediately. It waits, it watches, and perhaps it remembers. Chapter 2, the corridor of silence, between time and form. Imagine a corridor with no floor, no ceiling, no clocks, no heartbeat, no name, just stillness. This, the mystics tell us, is where the soul waits between lives. It is not punishment. It is not peace. It is something older. A return to the pure potential of being, where form has not yet been chosen. The Buddhists call this the clear light. The Gnostics call it pleroma, the fullness before form. The Egyptians describe it as the passage through Duat. It is the space between inhale and exhale, the still point between dreams. In this place, the soul is not yet anyone, but it is still aware. It waits. Not out of fear, but because choosing the next life takes wisdom. Chapter 3, what the soul sees, memory without identity. Without a body, there is no voice, no name, no language, but there is still memory. Not the memory of what you wore or what you said, but the memory of how you lived. Did you love without needing return? Did you forgive what was never apologized for? Did you see beauty where others saw waste? These memories return, but not as pride and not as regret. They return as questions. The soul asks, did I become what I was meant to be? And in that quiet, there is no place to hide, because the soul cannot lie to itself. Chapter 4, teachings from Egypt, India, and Orphism. Around the world, through the deepest corridors of ancient thought, we find the same image: a waiting soul, suspended between lives. In Egypt, the soul enters Duat and must pass through gates, trials, guardians. Its heart is weighed but not rushed. In India, the Upanishads speak of the soul choosing its next womb based on its karma, its echo. But there is time, reflection, pause. The Orphics placed gold leaves on the dead, inscribed with instructions. You are divine. You have drunk from an Amazoni. Remember. All of these agree on one truth. There is something the soul must understand before returning. The body may die quickly, but the soul moves slowly. as if the divine knew. We are not ready to begin again until we have truly ended. Chapter 5, Plato's World of Forms and the Soul's Liminal. Plato once wrote that all learning is remembering, that what we call knowledge is not discovery, but the soul remembering what it once knew before it was born. He describes a place where the soul sees the forms, perfect patterns of beauty, justice, courage, truth. But when the soul falls into the body, it forgets. So what happens between lives? Perhaps this is when the soul remembers again. The world of forms is not a place of bodies. It is a place of meaning. And the soul, stripped of name and desire, floats there, gathering the strength to re-enter matter, not blindly, but having touched what is true again. In this waiting space, Plato suggests, the soul is not asleep. It is more awake than ever, but there is no mouth with which to speak, only vision. And when that vision fades, the soul is ready to fall again into forgetting and begin. Chapter 6, The Soul's Choice, Why It Returns. But why return at all? If the soul has tasted peace, truth, clarity, why return to suffering? Plato answers in the myth of Ear. After death, each soul must choose its next life. Some choose poorly seduced by glory, unaware of the cost. Others choose wisely quiet, simple lives full of inner richness. The soul chooses not as a person, but as consciousness, stripped of ego, guided only by what it has learned. To return is not punishment, it is necessity. For the soul to become what it is, it must pass again through time, through hunger, laughter, tears, silence. And so it waits, until the right life opens before it like a door, and only then does it step forward. Chapter 7 is waiting a kind of wisdom. We live in a world that fears waiting. Silence is called waste. Stillness is mistaken for idleness. But the soul, it seems, is in no rush. Between the lives it has lived and the one it will live again, it does not hurry. Because the soul knows, time is not linear. It is rhythmic, and wisdom is not speed. Wisdom is readiness. Between the lives it has lived and the one it will live again, it does not hurry. Because the soul knows, time is not linear, it is rhythmic, and wisdom is not speed. Wisdom is readiness. Chapter 8, Waking into the Next Life. Birth is not the beginning. It is the continuation of a journey we forgot we were on. The soul enters a body. It cries, it learns a name, it begins again. But somewhere inside, deep within the stillness, a whisper remains, a memory, a dream, a question. And though the soul may not remember the corridor, the silence, the choice, it carries something with it, a trace of light, a thread of breath, a hunger for meaning that will never be silenced. Because between death and birth, the soul was not gone, it was becoming. If this story has stirred something in you, not knowledge, but recognition, then perhaps your soul remembers too. Not the details, but the waiting, the breath between lives. Share this journey, subscribe, and walk with us as we seek what lies just beneath remembering. When your life slows, when silence visits you, don't fear it. That may be the soul preparing to begin again.